The golden sun dipped below the horizon, casting an amber glow over the desolate landscape. Archaeologist Emily Bradshaw stood at the edge of the excavation site, surveying the scene with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Just a few hours earlier, her team had stumbled upon the first signs of an ancient, long-buried structure while conducting a routine survey of the remote, uncharted planet. Now, as the shadows lengthened, the true scale and complexity of the ruins had begun to reveal themselves. "This is unprecedented," Emily murmured, her gaze sweeping over the intricate network of partially exposed walls and archways. "I've never seen anything like this before." Her longtime colleague, Dr. Marcus Alvarez, approached and placed a hand on her shoulder. "You're right, Emily. These ruins are unlike anything we've encountered in our careers. The level of sophistication is astounding." Emily nodded, her brow furrowed in concentration. "The inscriptions and symbols we've uncovered so far appear to be completely unfamiliar. I can't find any correlations to known alien languages or writing systems." Marcus hummed in agreement. "That's what has me the most perplexed. This technology, this architecture, it predates the earliest records of any galactic civilization we're aware of." A young graduate student, Sarah Tanaka, hurried over to them, her eyes shining with excitement. "Professor Bradshaw, Professor Alvarez, you have to come see what we just uncovered. It's incredible." Without a moment's hesitation, Emily and Marcus followed Sarah back to the deepest section of the excavation. As they neared, Emily's breath caught in her throat. Embedded in the ground was a massive, gleaming metallic structure unlike anything she had ever seen. "This is no relic," she murmured, tracing her fingers along the smooth, flawless surface. "This is an active, functional component. But of what?" Marcus crouched down, running a series of scans with his handheld device. "Remarkable. The metallic alloy is unlike anything in our database, and the power source appears to be some kind of advanced fusion reactor. Yet it's perfectly intact, as if it were only recently deactivated." Emily's mind raced with possibilities. Could this be part of the propulsion system for a spacecraft? Or perhaps some kind of advanced energy generator? "I don't know," Marcus admitted, shaking his head. "But what I do know is that we've stumbled upon something that defies all of our preconceptions about the history of technological development in the galaxy." As night fell, the excavation team worked tirelessly, carefully exposing more of the ruins and meticulously documenting every find. Emily found herself captivated both by the sheer scale and complexity of the site and by the profound implications of their discovery. If these ruins predate the earliest known alien civilizations, she mused aloud to Marcus, then who could have built them? And where did they go? Marcus frowned, his brow furrowed in thought. "That's the million-credit question, isn't it? The scale and sophistication of this technology is leagues beyond anything we've seen. It's almost as if..." He trailed off, his eyes widening slightly. "Almost as if this was the work of an ancient elder species." Emily's heart skipped a beat. The legendary elder species was a persistent myth in galactic folklore, a mythical race of advanced beings who were said to have seeded the galaxy with life and technology long before the rise of the modern alien civilizations. "You can't be serious," she breathed, searching Marcus' face for any sign of jest. "You really think this could be connected to the elder species?" Marcus held up a hand, his expression grave. "I know it sounds far-fetched, Emily, but look around you. Everything we've uncovered here defies explanation. The sheer scale and complexity of this site is unparalleled. And the technology we've already documented." He shook his head slowly. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen." Emily nodded slowly, her mind racing. If this is true, if these ruins are actually the work of the mythical elder species, then it would rewrite everything we know about the history of the galaxy. Marcus placed a reassuring hand on her arm. "I know this is a lot to take in, but we have to approach this with an open mind and a careful, methodical approach. We can't jump to any conclusions, no matter how tantalizing the implications might be." Emily took a deep, steadying breath. You're right. We need to focus on documenting every detail, analyzing the data, and seeing where the evidence leads us. This discovery could change the course of galactic history. We have to get it right. As the first pink hues of dawn began to creep over the horizon, Emily turned her gaze back to the ancient ruins, her heart pounding with a mix of trepidation and wonder. Whatever secrets lay buried here, she was determined to uncover them, no matter where the trail might lead. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity as Emily Bradshaw and her team worked tirelessly to unravel the secrets of the ancient ruins. Samples and data flooded into the makeshift research center they had established on the remote planet, fueling a flurry of analysis and debate. The more we learn, the more questions seem to arise, Emily said, poring over the latest reports with Marcus Alvarez by her side. These ruins are unlike anything we've ever encountered. Marcus nodded grimly. That's an understatement. The technology we've documented is centuries, if not millennia, beyond our current capabilities. The construction materials, power sources, even the very nature of the architecture, it's all completely foreign. Emily traced a finger along the detailed scans of the metallic alloy they had extracted from the buried structure, and the inscriptions we've managed to decipher so far don't match any known alien language. It's as if this was built by a civilization that predates our own understanding of galactic history. Which brings us back to the tantalizing possibility of the elder species, Marcus said, his brow furrowed in thought. Could these ruins truly be the remnants of an ancient, advanced civilization that seeded the galaxy long before the rise of our own people? Emily sighed, leaning back in her chair. That's the million-credit question, isn't it? We have to be careful not to jump to conclusions, no matter how tempting the idea may be. But I have to admit, the evidence is starting to point in that direction. Just then, Sarah Tanaka burst into the room, her eyes shining with excitement. Professors, you need to come see this. We've made a major breakthrough. Exchanging a brief glance, Emily and Marcus quickly followed the young graduate student to the main research lab. Displayed on the large holographic screen were intricate schematics and diagrams, along with pages of detailed annotations. What am I looking at here, Sarah? Emily asked, her gaze sweeping over the complex technical data. It's the power system we discovered buried in the ruins, Sarah explained, her words tumbling out in a rush. We've managed to partially decipher the inscriptions and schematics, and the implications are astounding. Marcus leaned in, studying the holographic displays intently. This is a fusion reactor, a remarkably advanced one, at that. But the design is completely unlike anything in our database. Exactly, Sarah exclaimed. The containment systems, the fuel source, even the principles of operation. It's all fundamentally different from any fusion technology we've ever seen. It's as if this was designed by an entirely different approach to physics and engineering. Emily felt a chill run down her spine. You're saying this power system was built by a civilization with a completely alien understanding of the laws of the universe? Sarah nodded emphatically. That's precisely what I'm saying, Professor. And that's not all. The schematics also indicate that this reactor was just one component of a much larger integrated power grid, one that could have supplied energy on a truly massive scale. Marcus's eyes widened. You mean this was part of some kind of galactic-scale power infrastructure? Yes, Sarah exclaimed. And the most remarkable part is that the inscriptions we've managed to translate suggest this technology was specifically designed to be retrofitted and integrated with other, older power systems. Emily felt a sense of dread settling in the pit of her stomach. Older systems. You mean this was built to be compatible with technology that predates even these ancient ruins? Sarah nodded solemnly. That's exactly what it seems to imply, Professor. Which means, she trailed off, her expression grave. Which means these ruins may not be the pinnacle of this civilization's technological development. Marcus finished, his voice low and tense. They could be just the tip of the iceberg. The three researchers stood in stunned silence, the weight of the implications hanging heavy in the air. Emily could feel her heart pounding in her ears as she tried to process the magnitude of what they had uncovered. "If what you're saying is true, Sarah," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper, "then we may be dealing with the remains of a civilization that spanned the entire galaxy. One that was so advanced, it makes our own technological prowess seem like the work of children." Marcus nodded slowly. "And if that's the case, then the question remains, what happened to them? Where did they go?" Emily met his gaze, her expression grim. "That, my friend, is the question that could rewrite the history of the known universe." As the hours turned into days, the research team worked tirelessly, diving deeper into the mysteries of the ancient ruins. With each new discovery, the picture became clearer and more unsettling. The technology they were uncovering was not merely advanced, but fundamentally different from anything they had ever encountered. And the more they learned, the more evident it became that these ruins were not the remains of a single civilization, but rather the remnants of a galactic-scale power that had once spanned the stars. A power that had vanished, leaving behind only tantalizing clues to its true nature and origins. Emily knew that the answers they sought lay buried deep within the ruins, waiting to be uncovered. But as she pored over the growing piles of data and analysis, she couldn't shake the growing sense of unease that had settled in the pit of her stomach. Whatever they found, she knew it would forever change the course of galactic history, and she couldn't help but wonder, were they truly prepared for the truth? The news spread like wildfire through the halls of the Galactic Exploratory Commission. Emily Bradshaw and her team had made a discovery that would shake the very foundations of known history. The ancient ruins they had uncovered were not the work of any recognized alien civilization, but rather the remnants of a technologically advanced elder species that predated all other intelligent life in the galaxy. The implications were staggering. If true, it would mean that everything the galactic community thought it knew about its own origins was wrong, and the political and social upheaval that could result from such a revelation was unthinkable. It was no surprise, then, when Emily received a summons to appear before the Commission's highest-ranking officials, their faces stern and unyielding. Professor Bradshaw, the lead commissioner, a stern-faced Vosk named Tarsus, began. "We've been informed of the remarkable discoveries you and your team have made on that remote planet." Emily straightened her shoulders, meeting the commissioner's gaze evenly. "Yes, sir. The ruins we've uncovered appear to predate any known alien civilization, and the technology we've documented suggests it may have been the work of an advanced, galactic-scale civilization that existed long before the rise of our current societies." Tarsus let out a heavy sigh, his clawed fingers drumming against the smooth surface of the table. "I see. And I assume your team has been diligently documenting and analyzing all of these findings." "Of course, sir," Emily replied. "We've been working around the clock to decipher the inscriptions, schematics, and other data we've uncovered. The implications are—" Yes, the implications are quite significant, I'm sure," Tarsus interrupted, waving the dismissive hand. "However, I must impress upon you the utmost importance of keeping this information strictly confidential, at least for the time being." Emily blinked, taken aback. "Confidential? But surely the galactic community has a right to know about this momentous discovery. It could rewrite our understanding of precisely the reason why this information cannot be shared, at least not yet," Tarsus said, his tone brooking no argument. "The political and social upheaval that would result from such a revelation is simply unacceptable. We cannot risk destabilizing the fragile peace that has taken centuries to establish." Emily felt a surge of indignation. "But that's not your decision to make, Commissioner. This discovery belongs to the people of the galaxy, not to you or your commission." Tarsus's eyes narrowed, his expression hardening. "I'm afraid you don't understand the gravity of the situation, Professor Bradshaw. This is a matter of galactic security. The consequences of premature disclosure could be catastrophic. Emily opened her mouth to protest, but Marcus Alvarez's firm hand on her arm stopped her. She glanced at her colleague, seeing the same unease and frustration reflected in his eyes. "With all due respect, Commissioner," Marcus said, his voice measured and calm, "this discovery is of immense historical and scientific significance. Suppressing it could be seen as an unethical abuse of power." Tarsus' expression darkened. "I understand your concerns, Professor Alvarez, but I can assure you that the decision to keep this information classified has been made at the highest levels of the Galactic Council. The stability of our entire civilization is at stake." Emily felt a chill run down her spine. "You're saying the Council knows about this?" Tarsus nodded solemnly. "They have been made aware of your team's findings, and they have deemed it necessary to keep this information under tight control, at least for the time being." The room fell silent, the gravity of the situation weighing heavily on all present. Emily could feel the conflict raging within her, the desire to expose the truth, to let the galaxy know the secrets they had uncovered, warring with the rational understanding of the potential consequences. "So what happens now?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Now." Tarsus leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. "Now, you and your team will continue your research under the strict supervision of the Commission. You will document every finding, analyze every piece of data, and report directly to us. But you will not, under any circumstances, share this information with anyone else." Emily felt her heart sink. "And if we refuse?" Tarsus's eyes narrowed dangerously. "Then I'm afraid you will leave us no choice but to take drastic measures. The stability of the galaxy is at stake, Professor Bradshaw. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation." As Emily and Marcus exited the Commission's headquarters, the weight of their predicament hung heavy in the air. They had stumbled upon a discovery that could change the course of galactic history, and now they were being silenced, their findings suppressed by the very institutions they had sworn to serve. "This isn't right, Marcus," Emily said, her voice trembling with barely contained anger. "We can't just let them bury the truth like this. The people deserve to know." Marcus sighed heavily, his expression troubled. "I know, Emily. Believe me, I understand. But we have to be realistic about the consequences. The Commissioner was right. The political and social upheaval that could result from this revelation is unthinkable." Emily shook her head vehemently. "I don't care. This isn't about politics or bureaucratic power struggles. This is about the fundamental right of every being in the galaxy to know their own history. We can't just sit back and let them sweep it all under the rug." Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder, his gaze earnest. "I know how you feel. Believe me, I want the truth to come out just as much as you do. But we have to be smart about this. We can't afford to make rash decisions that could end up doing more harm than good." Emily stared at him, torn between her desire for justice and the harsh realities of the situation. Finally, she let out a long, frustrated sigh. "All right, but I won't stay silent forever, Marcus. Sooner or later, the truth is going to come out, whether they like it or not." As they made their way back to the research site, Emily couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that had settled in the pit of her stomach. The fate of the galaxy, it seemed, now rested on their shoulders, and the decisions they made in the days to come would echo through the annals of history. In the days that followed their tense meeting with the Galactic Exploratory Commission, Emily Bradshaw and Marcus Alvarez found themselves caught in a web of secrecy and intrigue. Under the watchful eye of the Commission's representatives, they continued their research into the ancient ruins, meticulously documenting every new discovery while carefully guarding their findings. But as they dug deeper into the mysteries of the site, something else began to emerge, a disturbing pattern that suggested an even darker secret was being kept from the galactic community. "Look at these encryption logs, Marcus," Emily said one evening, her brow furrowed in concentration as she pored over the data. "They indicate that our communications have been monitored and intercepted, even on this remote planet." Marcus leaned in, his expression grave. "That's not all. I've been cross-referencing our findings with historical records, and there are indications that similar ruins have been discovered on other worlds, only to be quickly covered up and suppressed. Emily felt a chill run down her spine. You mean this isn't just about the Galactic Exploratory Commission trying to keep our discovery under wraps? There's a larger conspiracy at work. Marcus nodded solemnly. I'm afraid so. The evidence suggests that other alien civilizations have been actively suppressing knowledge of these ancient ruins for centuries, if not millennia. Emily's mind raced as she tried to make sense of the implications. But why? What could be so threatening about the truth of our origins that entire galactic powers would go to such lengths to keep it hidden? I wish I knew, Marcus said, his voice tinged with frustration. But one thing is clear. We're not dealing with just a local cover-up here. This is a galaxy-spanning conspiracy, and we've only scratched the surface. The realization weighed heavily on them, and in the days that followed, Emily and Marcus found themselves growing increasingly uneasy, constantly looking over their shoulders as they went about their work. We can't keep this to ourselves, Marcus, Emily said one night as they huddled over their research. The people of the galaxy deserve to know the truth, no matter the cost. Marcus sighed, running a hand through his graying hair. I agree, Emily. But you saw how the Commission reacted. They're willing to go to extreme measures to keep this information suppressed. We have to be careful, or we could end up making things much worse. Emily's eyes narrowed. So what? We just sit back and let them bury the truth. I can't accept that, Marcus. Not when we have the power to change the course of history. I'm not saying we do nothing, Marcus replied, his voice low and urgent. But we have to be strategic. We need to find allies, people we can trust, who are willing to help us bring this conspiracy to light. Emily nodded, her determination renewed. Then that's what we'll do. We'll start by digging deeper into the historical records, see if we can uncover more evidence of these ancient ruins being discovered and covered up. And then we'll find a way to get the truth out there, no matter what the Commission or any other galactic power tries to do to stop us. Over the next few weeks, Emily and Marcus worked tirelessly, their investigation taking them to the far corners of the galaxy. They pored over ancient texts and archives, piecing together a disturbing pattern of discoveries and subsequent cover-ups, all centered around the same type of advanced, unfamiliar ruins. It's like they're terrified of the truth, Emily murmured one night as they reviewed their findings. Whatever these ancient ruins represent, it's something that threatens the very foundations of the galactic order. Marcus nodded, his expression grim. And the more we uncover, the more it becomes clear that this is a conspiracy that extends far beyond the Galactic Exploratory Commission. We're talking about multiple alien civilizations working together to keep this secret buried. Emily felt a surge of determination. Then we have to work just as hard to expose it. We need to find a way to get the truth out there, to let the people of the galaxy decide for themselves what to do with this knowledge. But how? Marcus asked, his brow furrowed in worry. The Commission has made it clear they'll stop at nothing to keep us silent. And if other alien powers are involved, we could be putting ourselves in grave danger. Emily's gaze hardened. I don't care, Marcus. This is too important to stay silent. We have to try, even if it means risking everything. As the weeks turned into months, Emily and Marcus grew increasingly isolated, their every move watched, and their communications constantly monitored. The pressure mounted, and they knew it was only a matter of time before the conspirators made their move to silence them for good. But still, they pressed on, driven by an unwavering determination to uncover the truth and expose the galaxy-spanning conspiracy that threatened to keep the origins of humanity hidden forever. We're close, Marcus, Emily said one night, her eyes alight with a fierce determination. I can feel it. We're on the verge of something big, something that could change the course of history. Marcus nodded, his expression grave. I know, but the closer we get, the more danger we're in. We have to be careful, Emily. We can't afford to make a single mistake. Emily reached out and squeezed his hand, her gaze unwavering. I know, but we have to try. For the sake of the entire galaxy, we have to reveal the truth, no matter the cost. With those words, she turned her attention back to the data, her mind racing as she plotted their next move. The stakes had never been higher, but Emily was more determined than ever to uncover the secrets of the ancient ruins and bring the truth to light, no matter what stood in her way. The hooded figure moved stealthily through the shadows, their footsteps muffled by the damp, alien vegetation. Emily Bradshaw's heart pounded in her chest as she pressed herself against the rough bark of the towering trees, Marcus Alvarez by her side. This way, the figure whispered, gesturing towards a narrow ravine in the distance. Quickly, before they realize you're missing. Emily exchanged a tense glance with Marcus, who gave a slight nod. They had no choice but to trust this mysterious informant if they wanted any chance of escaping the remote planet alive. The trio moved swiftly and silently, ducking and weaving through the dense foliage. Emily could feel the adrenaline coursing through her veins, the weight of their discovery, and the danger they now faced bearing down on her with every step. Just hours earlier, she and Marcus had made a startling realization. The galaxy-spanning conspiracy they had uncovered extended far beyond the Galactic Exploratory Commission. Other alien powers, desperate to keep the truth about humanity's origins buried, had been systematically eliminating anyone who dared to uncover the ancient ruins and the secrets they held. And now, it seemed, they were the next targets. As they reached the ravine, the figure paused, their hooded face turning towards Emily and Marcus. This is as far as I can take you. There's a hidden shuttle bay just beyond the tree line. It should be enough to get you off this planet and to safety. Safety, Emily echoed, her voice tense. Nowhere in the galaxy is safe for us anymore, not with the kind of enemies we've made. The figure's head dipped in a solemn nod. I understand your concern, but this shuttle is equipped with the latest in stealth and evasion technology. It should give you a fighting chance to escape. Marcus stepped forward, his eyes narrowed. And what about you? Won't they come after you for helping us? The figure let out a humorless chuckle. I've been playing this game for a very long time, Professor Alvarez. I know how to disappear. You, on the other hand, are the ones with a target on your backs. Emily felt a twinge of trepidation. Who are you? And why are you helping us? The figure paused, turning to face them fully. Let's just say I have a vested interest in seeing the truth come to light. Now go, before it's too late. Without another word, the figure vanished into the shadows, leaving Emily and Marcus to stare at each other, their expressions a mix of gratitude and uncertainty. We have to trust them, Marcus, Emily said, her voice low but resolute. We don't have any other choice. Marcus nodded reluctantly, and together they hurried towards the tree line, their eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of pursuit. As they reached the hidden shuttle bay, Emily's heart sank. The sleek, unfamiliar craft was unlike anything she had ever seen, its smooth lines and gleaming hull a testament to the advanced technology that had created it. This is it, Marcus murmured, his hand resting on the hatch. Are you ready? Emily took a deep, steadying breath. As ready as I'll ever be. Let's go. The shuttle's engines roared to life, and within moments they were soaring above the alien landscape, the lights of the excavation site growing smaller and smaller in the distance. Emily gazed out the viewport, her mind racing. Where do we go from here, Marcus? We can't just run and hide forever. Not when the fate of the galaxy is at stake. Marcus's expression was grave. I wish I knew, Emily, but right now, our priority has to be survival. We need to find a safe haven, somewhere we can regroup and figure out our next move. And what about the truth? Emily pressed, her eyes burning with determination. We can't just abandon everything we've uncovered, not when we're so close to exposing the conspiracy. I know, Marcus said, his voice heavy with the weight of their situation. But we're no good to anyone if we're dead. We need to be smart about this. Emily, if we rush in without a plan, we'll only end up getting ourselves, and the truth, buried for good. Emily opened her mouth to argue, but the sudden blare of the shuttle's proximity alarms cut her off. She whirled around, her heart pounding, to see a fleet of sleek, unfamiliar spacecraft closing in on them. "They found us," Marcus shouted, his fingers flying across the shuttle's controls. "Hang on, Emily. This is going to be a bumpy ride." As the enemy ships opened fire, the shuttle lurched and bucked, its superior speed and maneuverability the only thing keeping it from being blown out of the sky. Emily gripped the armrest, her knuckles white, as Marcus weaved and dodged, his expression one of grim determination. "There," he yelled, nodding towards a distant asteroid field. "We might be able to lose them in there." Emily didn't dare speak, her focus entirely on the chaos unfolding around them. As the shuttle plunged into the treacherous asteroid field, she braced herself for the worst, praying that their mysterious benefactor's gift would be enough to see them through. The next few minutes were a blur of dizzying twists and turns, the shuttle narrowly avoiding being smashed to pieces as it navigated the perilous asteroid field. Emily's heart pounded in her ears, her every muscle tense, as she watched the enemy ships struggle to keep up. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the pursuing craft peeled off, their sensors apparently unable to track the shuttle's stealthy movements. Emily let out a shaky breath, her body sagging with relief. "We made it," Marcus breathed, his eyes wide. "But I don't know how long we can keep this up. We need to find a safe place to hide, and fast." Emily nodded, her gaze fixed on the vast, empty expanse of space before them. "Then that's what we'll do. We'll find a way to survive, no matter what. And then we'll come back and finish what we started." With that, she turned her attention to the shuttle's navigation systems, already plotting their course to the nearest safe haven. The stakes had never been higher, but Emily was more determined than ever to expose the truth, no matter the cost. The cramped, dimly lit safe house felt like a tomb after the harrowing escape from the remote planet. Emily Bradshaw and Marcus Alvarez sat in tense silence, their eyes darting around the room as if expecting their pursuers to burst through the door at any moment. "We can't stay here for long," Marcus finally said, his voice low and tense. "It's only a matter of time before they track us down." Emily nodded, her expression grim. "I know, but where else can we go? We're fugitives now, Marcus. The entire galaxy is after us." Marcus let out a heavy sigh, running a hand through his graying hair. "We need to find allies, people who are willing to help us uncover the truth, no matter the cost." Emily's brow furrowed in thought. But who? The Galactic Exploratory Commission has already shown they're willing to bury this discovery, and if other alien powers are involved, we can't trust anyone in the established order. "Then we'll have to look outside the system," Marcus said, his eyes gleaming with determination. "There are dissident groups, rebel factions, even independent researchers who might be willing to help us." Emily's lips curved into a wry smile. "Rebels and renegades, huh? Sounds like our kind of people." Marcus returned the smile, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "Exactly. And the more we can rally to our cause, the better our chances of exposing this conspiracy and getting the truth out there." Over the next few weeks, Emily and Marcus embarked on a perilous journey, traversing the seedy underbelly of the galactic underworld in search of kindred spirits. They met with whispered contacts, attended clandestine meetings, and sifted through a seemingly endless stream of leads, each one more tenuous than the last. But slowly, their network began to take shape. First, it was a reclusive hacker collective, skilled in the art of digital espionage. Then, a group of maverick scientists, their careers ruined by their refusal to toe the official line. And finally, a ragtag band of rebels, hardened by years of fighting against the oppressive powers that ruled the galaxy. As Emily and Marcus shared their findings and their plight, the members of this growing resistance movement began to coalesce around a common cause, the pursuit of the truth, no matter the personal cost. So you're saying these ancient ruins we've discovered could rewrite the entire history of the galaxy? A grizzled Carnachian rebel commander asked, his eyes narrowed in suspicion. Emily nodded, her gaze unwavering. That's exactly what we're saying. And the powers that be are terrified of the truth coming to light. The Carnachian let out a low, rumbling chuckle. Well, that's good enough for me. Anything that pisses off the big shots in the Galactic Council is all right in my book. Marcus stepped forward, his expression serious. We need your help, Commander. Your resources, your connections, your willingness to fight. We can't do this alone. The Carnachian regarded them for a long moment, his eyes searching their faces. Finally, he nodded, a feral grin spreading across his features. You've got it, professors. The Crimson Fist stands with you, come hell or high water. As word of their cause spread through the network of dissident groups and rebel factions, Emily and Marcus found themselves at the center of a growing movement. Hackers infiltrated secure databases, unearthing new evidence of the conspiracy. Scientists and engineers reverse-engineered the advanced technology from the ancient ruins, finding ways to weaponize it against their oppressors. And the rebels, a motley crew of outcasts, revolutionaries, and vigilantes, began to plan a series of daring operations, each one aimed at disrupting the fragile status quo and bringing the truth to light. We're running out of time, Emily said one night, as she and Marcus pored over the latest intelligence reports. The Galactic Exploratory Commission and their allies are tightening their grip, cracking down on any dissent or unauthorized research. Marcus nodded, his expression grave. I know. That's why we have to strike soon, before they can silence us for good. Emily's eyes narrowed. Then that's what we'll do. We'll hit them hard, shake the foundations of their power, and force them to confront the truth they've been trying to bury. In the weeks that followed, the resistance movement launched a series of coordinated attacks, targeting key installations and communication hubs across the galaxy. Encrypted data streams flooded the public channels, revealing tantalizing glimpses of the ancient ruins and the shocking revelations they held. The galactic community was thrown into turmoil, the once stable order crumbling as the truth slowly began to emerge. The Galactic Exploratory Commission and its allies scrambled to contain the damage, but their efforts were met with growing public outrage and demands for answers. And through it all, Emily and Marcus remained at the heart of the resistance, guiding the movement and strategizing their next moves. They knew that the stakes had never been higher, that the very fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. But they also knew that they couldn't stop, not now, not when they were so close to exposing the truth. Whatever the cost, they were determined to see this through to the end. As the final pieces of their plan fell into place, Emily turned to Marcus, her eyes burning with a fierce determination. This is it, Marcus. The moment of truth. Are you ready? Marcus met her gaze, his expression unwavering. I've never been more ready, Emily. Let's do this. Together, they stepped forward, ready to lead the resistance in a final desperate gambit to uncover the secrets of the ancient ruins and bring the galaxy-spanning conspiracy to its knees. The main communications hub of the Galactic Exploratory Commission was a hive of frenzied activity as the technicians raced to contain the steady stream of data leaks and unauthorized transmissions. But despite their best efforts, the truth continued to slip through the cracks, flooding the public channels and sending shockwaves through the entire galaxy. At the heart of the storm stood Emily Bradshaw and Marcus Alvarez, their eyes fixed on the holographic displays as they prepared to deliver the final decisive blow. Are we ready? Emily asked, her voice low and tense. Marcus nodded, his expression grim. As ready as we'll ever be. The resistance has done their part. Now it's up to us to make sure the galaxy hears the truth. Emily took a deep, steadying breath, her fingers flying across the control panel. Then let's do it. With a press of a button, the carefully encrypted transmission burst forth, overwhelming the Commission's frantic attempts to block it. Across the galaxy, millions of beings tuned in, their eyes wide with a mixture of shock and disbelief as the images and data unfolded before them. Citizens of the galaxy, Emily's voice rang out, clear and unwavering. What you are about to see is the truth that has been hidden from you for centuries. The story of our origins, the story of the civilization that came before us. It is a tale that will forever change the course of history. As she spoke, the holographic displays burst to life, showcasing the stunning revelations that Emily and Marcus had uncovered. Detailed scans of the ancient ruins, the advanced technology they had documented, the inscriptions and schematics that pointed to a galactic-scale civilization. It was all there, laid bare for all to see. These ruins, Emily continued, her gaze intense, were not created by any known alien species. They are the remnants of an advanced, galaxy-spanning civilization that predates our own by untold millennia. A civilization we have come to know as the Elder Species. The images shifted, revealing the startling implications of their findings. Intricate schematics of fusion reactors, power grids, and interstellar travel systems. Technology that far surpassed anything the galactic community currently possessed. This technology, Marcus's voice chimed in, is fundamentally different from our own. It defies our understanding of physics, engineering, and even the nature of the universe itself. It is the legacy of a civilization that was so advanced, it makes our own accomplishments seem like those of children. Emily's expression hardened as she addressed the growing throngs of viewers. And yet this truth has been systematically suppressed, hidden from the people of the galaxy by the very institutions you have trusted to protect you. The Galactic Exploratory Commission, along with other powerful alien powers, have been conspiring to bury this discovery, fearing the upheaval that the revelation of our true origins would bring. The images shifted again, revealing a montage of covert operations, secret meetings, and the systematic elimination of anyone who dared to uncover the truth. The viewers watched, transfixed, as the scope of the conspiracy unfolded before them. But no more, Emily declared, her voice ringing with defiance. Today we stand before you, the last remnants of a resistance movement that has risked everything to bring you the truth. The time has come for the people of the galaxy to reclaim their history, to embrace the knowledge of our progenitors, and to forge a new path forward. As the transmission ended, the chaos that erupted was immediate and overwhelming. Across the galaxy, citizens flooded the public channels, their voices a cacophony of disbelief, outrage, and demands for answers. The Galactic Exploratory Commission and its allies scrambled to contain the damage, but their efforts were futile. The truth had been unleashed, and there was no turning back. In the aftermath, Emily and Marcus found themselves at the center of a galactic maelstrom, their faces broadcast across every holoscreen as they were hailed as heroes and reviled as traitors, sometimes in the same breath. "We've done it, Marcus," Emily murmured, her gaze fixed on the turbulent events unfolding before them. "The truth is out there, for better or worse." Marcus nodded, his expression solemn. "Yes, but now the real challenge begins. The galaxy is in upheaval, and the powers we've defied will stop at nothing to regain control." Emily's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll be ready. We've come too far to back down now." In the days and weeks that followed, the fallout from the revelation was both swift and far-reaching. Protests and riots erupted across the galaxy as citizens demanded answers and accountability from their leaders. The Galactic Council convened emergency sessions, their debates often descending into heated shouting matches as they grappled with the implications of the elder species' existence. Meanwhile, Emily and Marcus found themselves the targets of both adulation and vilification. They were hailed as heroes by the masses, but hunted as traitors by the powers they had defied. Forced to go into hiding once more, they continued to coordinate with the resistance movement, providing guidance and strategy as the galaxy teetered on the brink of collapse. As the turmoil reached a fever pitch, the remnants of the Galactic Exploratory Commission made a desperate gambit, In a bold move, they launched a series of coordinated attacks against the resistance strongholds, determined to silence the truth-tellers once and for all. The battle that followed was fierce and unrelenting, as the rebels fought back with the technology they had reverse-engineered from the ancient ruins. But the power of the conspirators was immense, and Emily and Marcus knew that they were outmatched. "We can't hold out much longer, Marcus," Emily said, her voice tinged with desperation, as they huddled in the command center of the Resistance's hidden base. "If we don't find a way to turn the tide, all of this will have been for nothing." Marcus's gaze was resolute. "Then we'll have to take the fight to them, Emily. We have to find a way to strike at the very heart of the conspiracy, before it's too late." As the battle raged on, Emily and Marcus knew that the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. They had come too far to back down now. Whatever happened, they were determined to see this through to the end. The battle raged on, the air thick with the acrid scent of burning metal and the deafening roar of weapons fire. Emily Bradshaw gripped the edge of the command console, her knuckles white, as she watched the holographic displays that mapped the chaotic struggle unfolding across the galaxy. "We're being pushed back on all fronts," Marcus said, his voice tight with tension. "The enemy's numbers and firepower are overwhelming us." Emily's jaw tightened. "We knew this wouldn't be easy, Marcus, but we can't give up now, not when we're so close to the truth." Marcus met her gaze, his expression grim. "I'm not suggesting we give up, but we need to find a way to turn the tide, or else everything we fought for will be for naught." Emily's mind raced, her eyes scanning the swirling chaos of data and tactical projections. Then, suddenly, an idea took hold. "The ancient technology," she breathed, whirling to face Marcus. "The power systems, the propulsion, even the weapons. We've only begun to scratch the surface of their capabilities." Understanding dawned on Marcus's face. "You're right. If we can find a way to fully harness that power, it might be enough to turn the tables on our enemies." Emily nodded, a determined glint in her eye. "Then that's what we'll do. We'll go straight to the heart of the ancient ruins, unlock their secrets, and use them to forge a new destiny for the galaxy." With a renewed sense of purpose, Emily and Marcus rallied the remaining resistance forces, pooling their resources and expertise to mount a daring assault on the last stronghold of the Galactic Exploratory Commission and its allies. The battle was fierce and unrelenting, but as the rebels fought with the advanced technology at their fingertips, the tide began to turn. Powerful energy beams lanced through enemy ships, and sleek, maneuverable craft darted through the chaos, confounding the adversaries with their unprecedented speed and agility. Emily and Marcus were at the forefront of the assault, their intimate knowledge of the ancient ruins guiding the Resistance's every move. They pushed deeper into the heart of the enemy's defenses, their eyes fixed on the prize, a massive, towering structure that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. "There," Emily shouted, pointing towards the colossal edifice. "That's the key. If we can gain control of that power source, we can turn the tide of the battle." Marcus nodded, his expression grim. "But getting there won't be easy. The enemy is pouring everything they have into defending that structure." Emily's lips curved into a determined smile. "Then we'll just have to be smarter and faster than they are." With a nod, the two researchers turned resistance leaders, led a small elite team of pilots and technicians towards the enemy's central command, weaving through the chaos of the battle with a deft touch honed by their intimate understanding of the ancient technology. As they neared the massive structure, the enemy's defenses intensified, but the rebels' enhanced craft sliced through the barrage with ease. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as they closed in on their target, her mind racing with the implications of what they were about to do. "This is it, Marcus," she murmured, her gaze locked on the glowing conduits that fed the structure's power. "Once we gain control of this system, the balance of power in the galaxy will shift forever." Marcus nodded, his expression resolute. "Then let's do it, for the truth and for the future of the galaxy." With a series of precise commands, the team infiltrated the ancient power systems, their fingers flying across the controls as they worked to redirect the flow of energy. Alarms blared, and the structure began to hum with a growing intensity, its very foundations trembling under the strain. Suddenly, the massive edifice erupted in a blinding display of light, its power surging outwards in a shockwave that swept across the battle zone. Enemy ships were caught in the blast, their hulls disintegrating as the ancient energy overwhelmed their systems. In the midst of the chaos, Emily and Marcus watched, their expressions a mix of awe and triumph, as the tide of the battle turned decisively in the Resistance's favor. The enemy's defenses crumbled, their ships dead in the water as the rebels moved in for the kill. As the last enemy stronghold fell, a deafening cheer went up from the Resistance forces. Emily and Marcus exchanged a long, weary look, the weight of their victory heavy on their shoulders. "It's over," Marcus said, his voice barely above a whisper. "We did it." Emily nodded, a small, tired smile playing on her lips. "Yes, we did. But the real work is only just beginning." In the weeks and months that followed, the galaxy was transformed. With the truth about the elder species and the conspiracy to suppress it now known, the established order crumbled, and a new, more equitable and transparent system of governance began to emerge. Humanity, once hidden in the shadows, now stood at the forefront of the galactic community, its ancient knowledge and technological prowess commanding respect and awe from the other alien civilizations. Emily and Marcus, hailed as heroes, became the guiding lights of this new era, using their expertise to help build bridges and foster cooperation across the stars. Yet, even as the galaxy celebrated its newfound freedom and unity, the two researchers knew that their work was far from over. The secrets of the ancient ruins still held untold mysteries, and the legacy of the elder species promised to shape the future in ways they could scarcely imagine. As they stood on the balcony of their new headquarters, gazing out at the bustling spaceports and thriving cities that had sprung up in the wake of their victory, Emily turned to Marcus, her eyes shining with a renewed sense of purpose. "This is just the beginning, Marcus. The galaxy has only scratched the surface of what's possible. And now, with the truth revealed, the possibilities are endless." Marcus nodded, his expression mirroring her own. "You're right, Emily. The future is ours to shape, and we're just getting started." With that, the two friends and comrades in arms turned their attention back to the galaxy, ready to embark on the next chapter of their extraordinary journey.